Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I tried making this video once before, but you guys know me, it was like an hour plus long. Basically, there are a bunch of new people looking to play classic hardcore when it comes out, and a lot of them are kind of interested in playing Paladin, because it's basically like, let's be honest, it's one of it's like the easy mode of hardcore classic, right? However, I've seen enough death clips and I've seen enough videos at this point to realize that the community at large doesn't know jack. They don't know beans about Paladin, to say the very least. It's actually kind of horrifying. In fact, what inspired me to make this video in the first place, which is a video where I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to talk about like every little obscure thing that I know about Paladin that can be useful in hardcore. There actually aren't that many, but some of them are actually a really big deal. Speaking of really big deals, I should put on the thing that is by far the biggest deal. Boom. Alright, cool. I should take that off too. And I should put on, where's my other trinket? There we go. Alright, cool. What in the flying fucking hell? Alright, guys. Have fun. Good luck to you. Where was I? Right, so all the little obscure things. So what really made me want to make this video was I was watching a death clip, like an old death clip of Zaryu and a team of like 4 other guys taking on the ogre quest, the ogre boss fight quest, the ogre summoning boss fight quest in Lower Blackrock Spire, which is one of the hardest things to do in the entire game. And they both succeeded and died horribly at the same time, basically. They all survived, except the tank missed his jump, and then he died. There was a lot of mistakes in that fight. Asmongold has a really interesting React video on it. Things I didn't know about, like a stacking Ren dot that the warrior should have been able to manage. And the paladin should have been able to manage if he just bopped him, like, and then removed it. So if you need to remove physical shit off somebody for some reason as a paladin, and Blessing of Freedom isn't the way to go, you basically just bop them and then re-blessing them with something else, and you use the bop's anti-physical traits to remove physical stuff. So basically the Paladin could have removed the Rend if he wanted to, but that's not the reason why I wanted to make this video. The reason why I wanted to make this video was the Paladin, the healer in question, had Blessing of Kings on his warrior, as opposed to Blessing of Light, which is a massive, huge, gigantic, WTF is wrong with you, no for any healer in Classic World of Warcraft. You do not if you're the healer in Classic World of Warcraft, you're throwing Blessing of Light on people. This is just what you're doing, and I can actually showcase the reason for that right now. Okay, so I have 2 Flash of Lights. I always have 2 on my bars. Basically, I've got the max rank 6. And then I have rank 1. And the reason for this is rank 1 Flash of Light has the exact same spell power ratio as the max rank Flash of Light. So when you start throwing on like your PvE healing gear and stuff like that, what ends up happening is your max rank Flash of Light will heal for like 900 to 1,000, and your rank 1 Flash of Light will heal for like 2/3 of that amount, for like 600 to 700, for example. And we can basically showcase that right now. So we'll just go through this real quick. So I'll show my rank 1s. I do have some plus healing, but not super amounts of plus healing gear. So you can see it's like 171, blah, 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 blah. If I do the max rank, it's a little bit over, so it'll actually be the exact same spell power ratio over. But the reason why we use Blessing of Light is, if you read Blessing of Light over here, it says that it increases the amount of Holy Light healing by 400, and the Flash of Light by like 115. And those end up being like exactly 115 and exactly 400. So if you see me clicking this rank 1 over and over again, you'll notice that we're around about 170, 171, like 170 average healing. That number is going to go up to 285 average, exactly. Well, I guess 170. Damn, all right. Feel free. I guess I'm low rolling here. But it'll go up by 115 exactly once I put on Blessing of Light. So we'll showcase that right. Wow, it's like I can predict the future. Yeah. So it goes up by like 115 exactly. And this is on rank 1s, right? This is 35 mana pop for what I'm doing right now. If I turn it off and I go over here to the max rank, it's the exact same. So you'll see this one will probably be hovering around 500-ish. And, okay, 515 was our high roll. So it's going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 530 would be a high roll as soon as I put on my Blessing of Light. Boom. Boop, boop. Okay, cool. Let's do this. I actually have this. All right, let's get a 260. Yep. Oh, yeah. So you can see it's exactly, it's 130, 115 added every time. This scenario does not, it doesn't translate over to like rank 1 Holy Lights. So, for example, if I do a Blessing of Light and I do a rank 1 Holy Light, if you're expecting like a 450, it's going to be get fucked. And the reason for this is very simple. So, the way spell power ratios work in Classic WoW, the max rank is fine. And if I go up to a certain level, you'll see the 400. So, let's try level 4 and see if that ends up being 400. Okay, so we're going to look for about a 950-ish when I do this at rank 4. Yeah, okay. Let's see if the rank 3 is the same. So basically, the way it works while I'm going through this is spells that you train at around level 20 or above have max level spell power ratio. So the spell that you trained at level 20 or level 22 will have the same spell power ratios that you train at level 60. And that's pretty universal for every class in World of Warcraft, period. The reason why rank 1 Flash of Light is bullshit is because you just so happen to train rank 1 Flash of Light at level 20. All right, one sec. What was this again? So I'm trying, right now I'm trying to figure out which rank of Holy Light was likely trained around level 20. We know level 4 was definitely trained over level 20. So if this level funny. So this is like a 700 heal. No, it's not. Okay, so this rank was over level 20, and this rank was not over level 20. Okay, cool. So I'm going to log on over to one of the trainers, and we're going to talk about why this is super important as a paladin. So generally speaking, if you're a healer, if you're healing as a paladin, you can go one of two routes. Route number 1 is you stack plus healing gear where you can, but the vast majority of your healing gear is spell crit, spell crit, spell crit. And you don't do the rank 1 Flash of Light thing. Instead, you just spam max ranks into the target, and you have like a 30% critical strike chance or something. That is by far the best build for parsing, because there'll be like, spikes in your healing, and you can, flex on people that way. By far the most efficient healer in Classic World of Warcraft is the complete opposite of this, where you have almost no critical strike chance whatsoever. You stack the highest levels of plus healing gear regardless of intellect concerns, and you spam max rank Flash of Lights. Not max rank. You spam rank 1 Flash of Lights into whatever you need to heal with Blessing of Wisdom on the target, and then you supplement the rank 1 healing with max rank Holy Lights where you need to. And if you do the math on that from like a time perspective wise, you can get out like 8 rank 1s and then a single max rank Holy Light in 9.5 seconds, and you can do it in basically the same space and time that you can do 10 max rank Flashes of Light. And if you look at the amount of healing that you'll generate and you look at the mana cost, you'll begin to notice that even with all the crit gear that you can stack on a paladin, the rank 1 / max rank Holy Light spam is by far the most mana and healing efficient. It is not the most spiky healing efficient, though, therefore the other version is better for parsing. And paladins will just naturally, in raids, like healers will just talk about this, and we'll like organize ourselves into be like, okay, that paladin's the rank 1 paladin, and this paladin is the max rank paladin, and we just divvy up the gear accordingly. Because if you're the rank 1 healing paladin, you don't want any fucking crit healing whatsoever. Practically, it's useless to you. And if you're the max ranker, then you want that like it's going out of style. All right, why is this important leveling? Well, in max rank end gear, your rank 1 Holy Light will heal roughly for 2/3 of your max rank. But while you're leveling, um, it won't be as much. It'll only be like 100%, like a 50% comparison, but it's still terrifying. So you get rank. Your first Blessing of Wisdom, or I mean, Blessing of Light comes online. That's at level 40. Let's find it here. Okay, it should be around here. Yeah, okay. Blessing of Light rank 1. So Blessing of Light rank 1, as we can see, will be increasing our rank 1 Flash of Light by 60. And if we find the most advanced, yeah, so the basically, if we're doing Zul'Farrak or something like that, our max rank Flash of Light at that level is going to be this 90 mana for 220 healing. With Blessing of Light, we add 60 to that, so it'll be like 90 mana for 260 healing. Our rank 1 at that level, because rank 1 heals for about 70. Our rank 1 will be 70 plus 60, so our rank 1 will be doing 130 compared to the 280-ish that this max rank will be doing. So you can see that the max rank is doing more than double the healing of our rank 1 with Blessing of Light. However, this is 90 mana compared to the rank 1's 35 mana, right? So it's like, yeah, I do slightly less than half the healing with my rank 1s, but my rank 1s still heal for, are still like, 1/3 the mana cost practically. So you end up getting into this rhythm while you're healing where your healing will be a mix of rank 1s and max rank Flash of Lights that you have available to you. With Blessing of Light. All right, so the next, and then of course that just, it continues to escalate as time goes on. So the next Blessing of Light rank you get before max level, I think. Yeah, before max level is Blessing of Light. Okay, Blessing of Light is at level 50. And the ratio ends up being the same. It's like 85. And then your best Flash of Light is also rank 50, which plus 85, so it's like 150 mana for like 385 healing, whereas your rank 1 will be like 160, 150-ish healing for like 35 mana. And again, you get into this rhythm of rank 1, rank 1, rank 1, max rank, max rank, max rank, rank 1, rank 1, rank 1, max rank, max rank, max rank for your level, right? Max rank for my level 50 is going to be this whatever the hell rank 4. Once you get into some actual proper healing, however, so that's why you're leveling. While you are leveling, you are a rank 1 healing Flash of Light fiend, if you haven't noticed this. So, and it goes even without max rank. So let's try to find a level, like let's say you're healing Gnomragon, which would be around about level 50, right? I mean, level 30-ish. Okay, so yeah, so this is my max rank Flash of Light. I'm going into Gnomragon. You'll see that it's costing, I don't have Blessing of Light to cheese out rank 1. So my scenario in this case is I can heal for 70 at 35 mana, or I can heal for like, a little over 150 at 70 mana, like, double the mana cost. Meaning that spamming max rank, this rank of Flash of Light over rank 1 Flash of Light will be superior. Especially if you have no plus healing gear backing it up. But the absolute moment at level 40, when you get Blessing of Light, this dynamic basically changes, and it becomes the case where you are spamming rank 1s into whatever you need to spam into your healing target, usually the tank, right? Hopefully, lol, into the tank. And if his health bar will slowly go down, right? So you'd be like rank 1, rank 1, rank 1, rank 1, and the warrior's like losing like 5% life a second, and then you'll start spamming your max rank available into him, or you'll start spamming rank 2 or 3 rank Flash of Light, even though it's not all that much healing efficient, to like top them off. Moral of the story is you start cheesing Blessing of Light. There aren't any real other better blessings that you can do on the tank. in dungeons while you're leveling. Blessing of Light, if you're the healer, tends to be by far the best. And in some scenarios, it's just better. I don't know what to tell you. It's better than Kings. It's better than Salvation. It's better than Salvation. It's better than Sanctuary. My bad. It's better than Might. It is better than almost everything. Just put Light on the damn tank. Blessing of Light is so powerful that when you watch videos of like 2 to 3 people soloing on Nixia, you'll notice that they always have a Paladin healer, and he is using rank 1 in that fight forever, right? Like, because you're just not going to as a Paladin spamming rank 1 flashes of light, and when rank 1 flashes of light are healing for like 600, 700 healing, that is actually ridiculous. All right, cool. So let's log out here. Let's talk about some other weird, obscure things that I know about Paladin. So that was what I needed to get off my chest. So I watched a video of a Paladin healer who had Kings on his main tank, and I was just like, during the hardest endurance fight in the entire game, which is LBRS, the Ogre Mage summoning thing. What the fuck are you doing? It's just terrible. Please don't do that. All right, so let's talk about some other stuff. So other weird things that I know about Paladin that I keep having to tell people over and over and over again, because apparently, new people are coming and they're watching hardcore videos, they're looking for Paladin hardcore videos. So let me just get this out the way again, is spell power ratios on Seal of Righteousness. Let's get my max rank out here. Okay. Are weird. This will become important later, just bear with me here. So, so how Seal of Righteousness works is that I really want to leave this. Let me just turn this off here. General settings, chat, no, general, okay. Global channels, looking for group, die. Okay, good. Every rank of Seal of Righteousness has a spell power ratio behind it. And it differs between one-handed and two-handed weapons. And it puts that spell power ratio into the target regardless of weapon speed. So whether you're wielding like a 1-second weapon speed, which doesn't exist in the game, or you're wielding like a 4-second weapon speed, which is the slowest weapon you can possibly wield in the game, this rank 1 Seal of Righteousness and this rank 8 Seal of Righteousness will put 10% of your spell power ratio into the target as damage. Per weapon swing for one-handers, and it'll do 15% for two-handers. Okay, 10% for one-handers, 15% for two-handers, regardless of weapon speed. Meaning that with Seal of Righteousness, faster is better, especially if you have spell power ratio, spell power at all on your gear. Faster is better, faster is better, faster is better. But then it gets weirder because, damn it, let me cough here real fast. Cover my mic. There we go. Take a drink of water. Little gargle action. Let's get back to it. Rank 3 Seal of Righteousness, however, is a special oddball. It probably exists because Purge and Shaman Purge exists. So it's like, when you're using Command as a Paladin and you're getting Purge, you can just be like, fine, whatever, I'll use rank 1, which is about 60 mana. It literally is 60 mana, I do believe. Like, I pull up my talents, I go to Retribution, 65 mana. So as like a stealth balance option for the game, because getting your seals purged is kind of lame, they made Seal of Righteousness rank 3 a special boy out of all the Seals of Righteousness. Basically, Seal of Righteousness rank 3 does 5% more spell power ratio than all of the other ranks. So one-handers do 15% spell power ratio, and two-handers do 20% spell power ratio, regardless of weapon speed, once again. And what this means is that at certain weapon speeds and at certain spell power ratios, take that off real fast, at certain weapon speeds and certain spell power ratios, rank 3 becomes just vastly superior. So I'm going to get my Flurry Axe on. For the record, this is the highest DPSing one-handed weapon in the entire game. Hungering Cold slightly does more DPS than Flurry Axe for a spell power based Paladin. That's the 72 DPS Nax end gear one-handed weapon that costs like 70,000 gold when it drops or some crap like that. But this is easily the second highest damaging weapon in the entire game. And if the enemy target goes above like 45% armor, then this weapon still ends up being the best one-handed weapon in the game. Oh, by the way, Hungering Cold's swing speed is 1.6. It's like 72 DPS, 1.6 swing speed, and the fucking Flurry Axe ends up beating it anyways. Flurry Axe has like a... with Seal of Righteousness, it has a 15% chance to proc these extra attacks, and these extra attacks can proc other extra attacks, meaning that the weapon speed effectively is like 1.3, so it's easily the fastest weapon we can possibly get on a Paladin, and when you have spell power ratio behind this thing, it does absolutely monstrous, terrifying things. So we're going to showcase this real fast here. Okay, so you can see that I'm doing like 82 with my rank 3 Seal of Righteousness. Now I'm going to, this rank 3, let me show you, it's rank 3. Now let me show you what happens when now this is max rank, this is rank 8. And you can see we went from like 80 something to like 63. Come back here. So again, this is my rank 3. My rank 3 is doing, damn, that's going to be hard to do. Rank 3 was doing, like 80 some or so odd in my current gear here. This is not spell power heavy gear. This is PvP gear that I took because I got like this and that and other things, and I've got Don Julio's. Yes, this is actually best PvP gear in Nax. Like Onyxia Tooth Pendant, two-piece Marshals, Don Julio's. You're like, what the fuck is this palette? Like tier 2? Yes. You're looking at some BIS PvP gear. I have videos on it. Just the reason for it is very simple. You'll notice I've got fire resist on things. Notice my fire resist is like 155 without me breaking a sweat. Like I'm just chilling here, 155. I don't have my Hand of Rag, but if you have Hand of Rag, then your fire resist easily goes up and over like 180. And at that point, grenades stop working on you. Fire mages don't do anything to you. You become a Giga Chad level pain in the ass to kill. It's also Thick Obsidian viable, so you can see I throw on the Thick Obsidian breastplate. I lose like 10 fire resist. But you can still see I still got 5 set bonus from tier 2. This thing is an absolute monster. All right, moving on here. Get back over to my better spell power stuff. Yeah, and I still have this, but I never even seen an eye. It's terrible. Yeah, so this also changes weapon speed. So I'm going to use Ebon Hand now. He's one of the slower one-handed weapons in the game. He's actually also a BIS one-handed weapon in Phase 6, or whatever the hell we are, like endgame, just because he has fire resist and stuff. The axe from Onyxia is better for the vast majority because it's like a 2.8 speed for Reckoning Paladins, blah, blah, blah. But this thing is pretty Chad as well. All right, so let's use rank 3 real fast here. All right, 87 for rank 3. You can tell it's the exact same as the Flurry Axe, but watch the difference in max rank. If you recall, max rank previously was like 60-something, but now it's doing like 80. Like what the hell is going on? Let me kill this guy real fast. Now it's doing 80. Like, what the hell is going on? Well, Seal of Righteousness, it reads these weird things over here. What the hell? All right. We'll ignore that guy for now. This should only take about 5 minutes. All right, so what's happening is your ranks read this weird crap where it says it does between 21 and 75 additional holy damage. What that's basically telling you is that if you're using the fastest weapon in the entire game, then you can expect the 21. If you're using the slowest weapon in the entire game, then it will add 75 damage. It says the same thing for rank 3, like, 5 and 19. I've tested Flurry Axe enough to know that Flurry Axe adds 6 to 7 damage base on the thing. God, I gotta run out of here. Sure. I do not like distractions. Let's get on out of here. Right. So when you used a slower two-handed weapon, right, or a slower weapon, you're going to get more of that base damage. But that's why faster weapons are better for Seal of Righteousness, especially with the whole spell power ratio thing. Blah 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 blah. And at certain spell power ratios, rank 3 at weapon speeds, rank 3 becomes better than rank 8. So, for example, when I'm PvPing and I'm using Ebon Hand, I won't use rank 3. I will use the max rank 8, because the damages are almost identical, and the judgment damage from rank 8 will be superior. It'll do like 400 damage ish compared to the rank 3 that only does 250 damage ish, which is still pretty good, but blah 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 blah. Other things that I know on Paladin, I promised them 5 minutes, so we'll try to get there. Seal of Wisdom and Seal of Light. Both in the Judgment and the actual Seal. They have a 2/3 chance to proc per weapon swing, regardless of weapon speed. Again, there's that regardless of weapon speed thing coming in. So whether you're using a two-hander or you're using a flurry axe, it doesn't really matter. It's a 2/3 chance to proc every weapon swing regardless. So for example, if I Seal of Light here, and I try to hit a target with it, every melee swing, there's a 2/3 weapon chance to proc regardless of weapon speed. Yeah, proc. Okay. Proc, right. And on the Judgment as well. Come on, Judge. Fucking lag. The Judge is the same thing as well. It's also a 2/3 chance to proc regardless of weapon speed. So I'm just getting super unlucky there for a second, but it's 2/3. When you combine the two, then it's 2/3 for each of them, right? So blah 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 blah. It's the same thing for Wisdom. What all this means is that it's just pushing you more and more towards everything about a Paladin pushes you towards. There was, yeah, that was a damn. That was a Flurry Axe proc into Flurry Axe proc into Flurry. Yeah, so I hit him, Flurry Axe procced for an extra hit, and then the extra hit procced another Flurry Axe proc. Yeah, so that's what that does. Everything about Paladin and One-Hander pushes you towards using the fastest weapon, one-handed weapon that you can possibly get your hands on. When you're leveling, that's going to be swords. You can find green swords that are like 1.5 speed on the auction house while you're leveling. I'm assuming in hardcore you can use auction house on the actual official hardcore servers. If you do the math on Judgment of Crusader, I have videos on this. Judgment of Crusader and the fastest one-handed weapon possible compared to the blue weapons. The blue weapons only do 1 to 2 more DPS compared to a really fast, good green weapon. And you beating the crap out of people. All right, so that's rule number 1. All right, so other things I need to talk about before I get off my Paladin and showcase some other things are these trinkets right here. Let me find my engineering. Engineering. Come on. Come on. Oh, something I need to talk about real fast here while I got it up is the big ones. The big one. Come on, show me where it is. Oh, I need explosives. The big one. There we go. So the big one is a really interesting bomb. I used up all my big ones in my previous video. Damn it. Come back here. They're a little expensive. You can only really get access to them round about level 40-ish. But the big one is by far the best Paladin runaway tool compared to grenades, for example. They have some downsides. So a grenade, for example, you can use a grenade while you're running away. It has a relatively small area of effect of about 3 yards, I think. Or it might be 5 yards, I don't know. But it's a small area of effect compared to this fucking thing, and it only stuns targets for 3 seconds. But you can use it while moving. But when you're trying to run away from a dangerous situation as a Paladin, being able to throw a grenade and run aren't all that useful. You'd rather just stun the targets for longer. And that's kind of where the big one comes into play. So the big one has some issues where it's only got a 10-yard range. And you have to stand still for 3 seconds while charging and throwing this stupid thing. But when you get it off, it's got a 10 fucking yard radius and it stuns everything in the radius for 5 seconds. Which means if you have a giant pack of mobs on you and it looks like you're going to die, what you should do as a paladin is bubble, heal yourself to full, take the 2.5 seconds to heal yourself to full, maybe even the 5 seconds to heal yourself to full, God forbid, 2 holy lights, right? Then take the 3 seconds of, keep in mind, we're still bubbled, we're using up our bubble. Then take the 3 seconds to throw a big one to stun most of the targets around you for 5 seconds. Use your Hodge on whatever the hell resisted the big one, and then book it, and then run. And around about this time, your bubble will start to wear off, but the 5 seconds of stun that you've picked up on the vast majority of the mobs there is more than enough it's an ocean of time for you to get away. You will be well over 40 yards away from all these mobs by the time they can even do anything, and it's basically the big one is just as good of a runaway tool as bubbling and speed potting. It's just as efficient. So that's advice number 1. So if I was playing a hardcore paladin, I made another video about this, but these are other weird little things going on, obscure things that I know about. Rule number 1 would be never use bubble unless I'm using it to run away. Bubble is purely for run away. Lay on hands is purely for running away. Big ones. Also, use the big one. Get used to loving the big one for running away. So much better than nades. But the other piece of advice I have is do not use healing pots. Do not use mana pots while leveling. And this is going to sound really stupid, but I swear to you that trinkets like minor recombobulate array and trinkets like major recombobulate array. Let's find the costs of making a major recombobulate array here are so much better while you're leveling than using mana and health pots. So the reason, the theory behind this is do not use mana and health pots as a paladin while leveling. Save your potion exclusively for swiftness potion. So that way you have bubble and you have swiftness potion for escaping as a paladin. And outside of like boss fights in dungeons, I cannot think of a realistic scenario where you as a paladin cannot get away from anything that can potentially kill you in all of World of Warcraft via, I'm trying to say bubble and speed potion will cause you to survive any scenario that you can possibly come across in all of World of Warcraft except for, oh, my party's wiping to a boss in a dungeon. And even then, bubble and speed pot will likely cause you to survive your party wiping to a boss in a dungeon just because it is so effing powerful. So, to use health pots and mana pots instead of a swiftness potion to try to run away is a really bad idea. So, but in lieu of using health potions, and mana potions, may I humbly suggest that you instead use major recombobulator trinket and its little brother minor recombobulator trinket. The fact that the hardcore community doesn't really use these trinkets is a tragedy. These trinkets are also stupidly overpowered in duels. They come with some negatives, though, and I will talk about this. So, the first negative of this trinket is that it does share a cooldown with Whipperroot Tuber. This is why this trinket is super useful in duels, because Whipperroot Tubers are usually banned in duels, but the major recombobulator array isn't. So you don't really mind. And of course, while you're leveling, you probably don't have Whipperroot. You won't get access to Whipperroot Tubers until you're like level 52, level 54, somewhere around there. And so you can use minor and major recombobulator arrays. Where do you get these? It's the same as a discombobulator array down here. You can get all of these schematics from Gnomeregan. So if you do the punch card quest chain in Gnomeregan, and you happen to be an engineer of a high enough level that you can use these, or of a certain level, you will just naturally get all three of these schematics from doing that quest chain. The first thing it'll give you is like major recombobulator schematic, minor recombobulator, and then it'll give you major recombobulator schematic, and then finally it'll give you discombobulator ray schematic just by doing the quest chain in Nomergon. Punch card quest chain in Nomergon. Might be an alliance only thing, which would be kind of funny. Go fuck the horde. Otherwise, discombobulator ray is like a 1% drop off the boss, and you almost never see it in classic WoW because nobody knows how to get the damn thing. They don't know, just do the damn quest. And on top of that, it's like a 1% drop off the final boss, so get fucked, basically. But the awesome thing about Discombobulator Ray is it's also an amazing tool for hardcore. I'll read it for you. Transforms the target into a leopard gnome, reducing melee and spell damage by 40, and its movement rate by 20% for 12 seconds. This Discombobulator Ray is actually really good in like duels with like rogues and shit, like someone who is attacking you really, really quickly, because having their damage reduced by 40 is absolutely ridiculous. It's also super good when you're leveling and stuff, and if we look at it here, it doesn't even have a minimum level requirement, which means that as long as you can do the quest in Nomergon, as long as you're like level 28 or something, you can get access to discombobulator rays, which is kind of insane. So if you have like a really tough elite fight you have to do, and this guy might punch the crap out of you, it might be worth it to discombobulator ray the elite as opposed to try to grenade him, stun him for like 3 seconds. You can like weigh how much DPS you're lessening from them. It's also a great escape tool because again, it'll reduce the movement speed of the target by like 20%. Blah 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 blah. Well, let's talk about these rays first here, why they are broken AF. All right, so first off, you'll notice it says dispel effects on friendly target, to polymorph effects on a friendly target, also restores 150 and 250 health and mana. I don't know if that health and mana is to the target that you're removing shit from, or if it's from you, or if it's like a lay on hands deal where it gives it to the target. I really don't know. I haven't tested it. I really should. But this thing is just so useful when used on yourself, the Paladin, that I'll just cleanse polymorph and I'll use this for my own damn purposes. But it gives health and mana, and it gives not an insignificant amount of health and mana. These are like healing potion and health potion and mana potion levels of, yeah. And if you notice anything about a Paladin, sometimes all you want is health, but the vast majority of cases, what you really want as a Paladin is mana. Mana potions will cause you to survive far more scenarios than health potions as a Paladin, just because it tends to be our big issue. By the time you get to the major recombobulator array, the amount of health and mana restored is actually ridiculous. It's 500 health and 500 mana, but that's not what makes this trinket epic levels of bullshit. Okay, so here's another little trick thing I want to talk about. I've fallen in love with the wind blossom berries from Fellwood. All right, because it's a food stamina buff that is instantaneous, and I can use it when I'm out of combat. So watch this. I'm gonna hold down W, and you're gonna watch me get a food buff. Watch this shit. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Did you notice? I got my stamina buff, my stamina food buff over here, and I didn't even stop W. Holy shit. So it's basically like an extra 100 HP that I can have on my Paladin virtually at all times, and goddamn. So when I get my Whipper Roots, my Dragon Fruit, which we got here, right? Whipper Root, Dragon Fruit, all that good stuff. I also pick up the Wild Berries just because, I mean, I'll take a free 100 HP on my character. I mean, thank you very much. What the fuck? But anyways, let's talk about Major Recombobulator Array. Things people don't know about Major Recombobulator Array. It has 100% healing spell power ratio behind it. Like, scratch that. It has 100% spell power ratio behind that. So what that means is whatever plus healing you have going on will be added 100% to Major Recombobulator Array. It also is the same thing going on for Minor Recombobulator Array. So I don't know why the hell you'd have any plus healing gear while using a Minor Recombobulator Array trinket, but if you were... they have the same 100% spell power ratio.
The two of them do share cooldowns. Yes, this thing says made by Drakova. They do share cooldowns, meaning that you can't be like, if one's on a 5-minute cooldown, the other one will be on a 5-minute cooldown as well. But I just want to show you how terrifying this is. So I'm going to use my Zandalari Heal Charm, which will increase the healing of Major Recombobulator Ray by 400. I've also got a bunch of at least a little bit of spell power gear on my actual gear. I can probably tell just by the flashes of light. Alright, so 170, Flash of Light is like a 2/3 spell power ratio. You know, I've got probably about 300 spell power plus healing gear on currently. Okay, so we're going to watch this Major Recombobulator Ray heal me for what it says in the tin, plus 700, basically. And we're going to do that right now. So boom, and boom. Hello? Lag? Alright, so that was a bit of a low roll, because it only healed me for 1,000. So which means that this thing healed me for maybe 350. Yeah. So that was a super low roll on the Recombobulator Ray. I've seen this, it can also crit heal. It's actually kind of ridiculous, and it gives you fucking mana. This thing is ridiculous. I don't know what level you can get it at. I think it's probably like level 30 you can get the major, but the minor one, as you saw, was like 150. Why people aren't using this trinket more in hardcore, don't talk to me, don't talk to me. I'm not helping you, don't talk to me. Why people don't use this more in hardcore, I just do not know, but it is a super, super powerful trinket, especially on Paladin when mana is at a premium. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. We talked about the big one. We talked about Blessing of Light, Seal of Light, Judgment of Wisdom, Seal of Wisdom. We talked about the stupid little spell power ratios, yada, 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 yada. You can Seal Twist. If you have Command, it's a viable strategy to Seal Twist rank, and you have some spell power ratio. It's a viable strategy to Seal Twist rank 1 Command with rank 3 Seal of Righteousness if you're using a slow weapon, but it usually will eat into your mana, and if you're using a two-hander, blah, 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 blah. So I made multiple videos on this, or at least one really long video on this. This is the other rule I would have in hardcore, and that is... get away from this waterfall. Do not, if I see another paladin in hardcore wielding a two-handed weapon using strength stamina gear, I am going to lose my effing mind. If I have to watch another hardcore paladin death video where the paladin is like, I'm deep ret with a two-handed in strength stamina gear, don't do it. If you are using strength stamina gear on hardcore as a paladin, and you're doing it for any other reason than I like it and I want to have fun, that's the only viable reason. Because from an efficiency standpoint, you are an absolute clown as a paladin in hardcore if you're not using stamina intellect gear. I have an entire very long video. It was like my Season of Mastery Paladin leveling video where I basically went through and I tested very empirically all the possible gearings that you can level as a Paladin with, and what it basically came back as is stamina intellect gear is just as efficient and just as quick in leveling as strength stamina gear. The only gearing that is superior leveling speed to stamina intellect, and by extension strength stamina two-handed type play, is doing what Drakova likes to do, which is he uses of the Tiger gear. He goes agility, strength, no stamina, and he's all in on the two-handed weapon, and he just finds places in the... He doesn't quest at all. He finds places in the open world where he can just, like, watch movies, like watch Netflix, and just kill one mob at a time, right? There's no patrols going on. He can just murder one mob at a time. That's probably the most efficient way to level as a paladin. Not very fun, but in hardcore, I wouldn't advise it at all. Stamina intellect gear kills just as quickly as strength stamina gear. And it does this with two-handed weapons just as quickly, and it does this slightly slower with sword and board. And again, I have a video on this, but I'll just showcase it real fast. And basically, what you do is you use Judgment of the Crusader for its spell power on the target, And you use rank 3 Seal of Righteousness for its 15% one-handed spell power ratio and its 20% two-handed spell power ratio. And the ideal weapons for this are, although there's when you're leveling as a paladin, you'll notice that on the auction house and in dungeons and through quests, the game really tries to throw at you these fast two-handed weapons with proc on hits. Fast two-handed weapons with proc on hits are very, very common while you're leveling, and they do not synergize very well at all with command paladins, but they synergize extremely well with Seal of Righteousness paladins because, again, speed is king for Seal of Righteousness, right? And then, of course, you have lots of really fast one-handed weapons, especially in the form of swords, really fast green one-handed weapons that synergize really well with Seal of Righteousness. So, for example, let's just see how quickly Homie dies here. So, you'll see my Seal of Righteousness hits for 24 damage at 2.5 weapon speed, which is kind of ridiculous. And you'll see that because I'm not doing anything extra, Judge dead. Notice how little mana I expended during all that. My mana bar went down like barely 3%. And if I factor in healing, like that was a rank 1 seal Flash of Light. If I factor in healing, like everything is just super. Again, I'm saying everything I said in a video I made, and I really should stop and try to see if that mage still needs help. But basically it comes down to this. I'll give you the TLDR. So the TLDR is if you wear strength, stamina gear as a paladin, what you'll notice is, get out of here. If you wear strength, stamina gear, you'll increase your DPS by like 20% from strength. Hopefully you're getting some synergies from being a deep ret paladin there, but even then the synergies only pop that up to maybe a 25% increase. And your mana bar will look like this. This is, if you're wearing the strength stamina gear, your mana bar will look like, 750 at best. Like, not good, really, really bad. You compare that to the intellect gear. The intellect gear will increase your mana bar by something stupid, like 100, somewhere between 100 to 130%, depending upon on how up to date your gear is. So again, watch my mana bar as I put my gear back on. Yeah. So you just end up having this absolutely insane mana bar, where you being you being full health and half mana as a paladin leveling in hardcore is the equivalent to being a ret paladin that is full life and full mana. So if you find yourself full life and half mana as a paladin going, oh shit, in the stamina intellect gear, I need to run for my life. It's the equivalent of the ret paladin build figuring out that he needs to run at full life and full mana, which just doesn't happen, right? And again, your time to kill is actually quite terrifying, especially with the two-handers. And you just never go down in mana ever. So let me show what two mobs looks like real fast here. And usually you have consecration. Again, I don't want to go in. I have a whole video on it, so I'll stop right there. So we did one front load consecration, and we're gonna chill. Where the hell is my? Here we go. I need some MP5. Where are you going? Stop that. Okay. This is also a good showcase of the damage difference. So you can see I don't have Crusader on him, so I'm only doing 14, whereas before it's like 26. Because again, it's 20% spell power ratio regardless of weapon speed. 4. I'm gonna, what do I want to do? Do I want to consecrate? No, I'll just let my spirit regen tick away. I hate the lag, man. I don't know what to tell you. Oh no, I might actually be in trouble. Any mobs around here? Are we gonna get jumped? No, we're good. What the? Oh, I didn't have Crusade. Ah, fuck you, lag. All right, and yeah, we're just chilling. We're just chilling like a villain. I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah, so please, if you're playing hardcore, wear Stamina Intellect gear. Stamina Intellect gear is the way to go for Paladin. Both those fights were incredibly inefficient. And we already showed you what the efficient fight looks like, where it's just you're taking one mob at a time, one mob at a time, one mob at a time. Okay. Ooh, 3. This ought to be fun. All right, so 3. We can showcase sword and board real quick here. So we're just going to be super chill. Should I be running? That's the question. I'm going to judge him. I really should put on the... Actually, I have 5 out of 5, don't I? Alright, now we're chilling. I can use Storm Form for shits and giggles. Why not? Oh, he's running. My bad. Just looking around. It's also not the worst idea to just use Seal of Crusader. Seal of Crusader is not the worst thing in the world. If I have to, I can still heal. I might have to showcase that. Like, I can stun him and heal. It's not the end of the world here. But look how... It looks like I have no life and no mana, right? But actually, that I have a full heal's worth of mana. and that's just what... Please, for the love of God, do not... level of stamina and intellect. It is just so much better. I have an entire video on it and why. The TLDR is it's superior out in the open world. You're not going to die as much. You're using faster weapons. Your kill time is identical or only like 20%. It's less than 20. It's like 10% reduced compared to the two-hander up-to-date stuff. What else about it? Your survival is much higher. You can AoE tank. You can AoE farm. You can heal in dungeons at the drop of a hat. You can join parties. Oh, the other thing is RNGesus doesn't come for you anywhere near as much because you're using fast weapons. So, for example, one of the really deadly things that'll come for you all the time if you're using the slow two-handed command type stuff is you'll be like, okay, I have no mana left, I'm half-life, but I should easily be able to kill this mob. And then you watch your two-handed weapon swings at 3.8 speed, miss, parry, dodge, miss, and the next thing you know, you're having to run for your fucking life because you are a clown shit hardcore paladin build. Please stay the hell away from... slow two-handed weapons and no stamina intellect gear. Wear the damn stamina intellect gear. Use the fastest weapons possible at your disposal. Judge Crusader. Blah 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 blah. So, anyways, that's all I have to say on that for this video. I will be a good Samaritan and try to go find those guys if they still need help doing that elite quest. And Deus Volt, boys.